Welcome to the Orlando Lions Den podcast, your number one Orlando City podcast. For the fans, by the fans. For the fans, by the fans. Keeping you in the know on all things Orlando City since 2018.
Welcome to another edition of Orlando Lions Den podcast. I'm your host, Jason JJ Jose this week, and I have three guys here with me. One of them, man, I felt like, we got him back like Junior Urso, when he came back last year. Swag, man, welcome back. You've been a little bit gone, or we haven't done together, been together on a podcast in a long time. So welcome back, buddy.
Thanks, JJ. Yeah, I agree. It's been a while. I was on a cruise, but did you like rent out a whole locker room?
Yeah, man, I got the whole locker room out here. Got over here Montino's thing. I got their jerseys. Yep, man, I got a studio now, ready to rock and roll.
With the most insane upgrade in the history of podcast upgrades. I'm impressed. You're looking good over there, man.
Appreciate it. Mike, what's happening, my man?
Chilling, man. Ready to advance in the CCC. CCL still sounds better, gonna be honest. And then we got a big fun one this weekend. So I'm excited, man. Good to be back with the boys.
Yes. And then we have the fastest guy on the podcast because I injured my knee. Cleon, what's going on?
Man, not much. Ready for these games to get going, man. I'm excited to get these things knocked out and start on this double trophy run.
All right. No jinx whatsoever. All right, let's go real quickly and thank our sponsors right away. First off, we got Fubo TV for if you want to get a nice deal. As you can see right now on your screen, there's a QR code. They basically have the best soccer. I mean, any soccer you want, they have. They have the Spanish, they got the English Premier, they have the French. I mean, they got any soccer you want, Argentinian, Peruvian. It's on Fubo TV. Use the QR code there. That's a little basically ties to us at Orlando Lions Den. It's one of our codes. So use the QR code there and subscribe to Fubo TV. Then we have our good friend Eddie with Cavalry Insurance Agency. If you need any homeowners insurance or vehicle insurance or anything, Eddie's the man to talk to. Then we have Field Turf USA.
Look at that picture, though, bro. Look at that picture.
Yeah, do you like that?
I'll put it back up. Look at that.
We gotta roll back.
He looks good there.
That's like out of one of them pregnancy ads, bro. When both the parents are over there faking happy, when they all faking and the dad's got a smile, but like, hey, hon, we're pregnant, and the dad's got a fake smile. Oh my God, Eddie.
So Eddie with our Cavalry Insurance Agency, and then we got Field Turf USA. Field Turf, all the fields that you see from Atlanta United to the European Champions League to everything is with the Field Turf. They have a basically grass and synthetic together type fields. Then we have our good friend Leo Gonzalez with Epic Mortgage. Leo, if you're looking for interest rates or anything, or getting a house or refinancing, get with Leo at Epic Mortgage. All right, guys.
Can I just say something about the Eddie picture? He needs an updated profile picture. My man's dropped like 100 lbs since then. So he's
dude's dropped a whole preteen basically.
yeah. I think it's shout out to Eddie. You need a new tell Liberty Mutual, Liberty Biberty. They need to get in your office and get some
new pictures
opportunities in there.
All right, let's go talk about Orlando City. Let's talk about our Champions Cup victory over Cavalry in Vancouver Island in Victoria, British Columbia. Sorry. 3-0 victory. We had a full lineup to start the CONCACAF campaign there. And then we had a first half goal by Duncan and another one by Facundo Torres. So we were up 2-0 at halftime, and then Facundo scores another goal to basically put it away for good, and we ended up winning 3-0. Easily could have been 4 to 5 goals in that game. We peppered them with about 13 shots at goal. So I mean, we really spanked them, and that's what we should have done. I mean, it is Cavalry FC. Basically from the Premier League of the Canadian League. So, your thoughts, guys, on this? I'm going to go to Cleon. What did you guys think about this first game against Cavalry, 3-0, and bringing it back home and basically have it all wrapped up? What are your thoughts on it, seeing the first game for Orlando City?
Look like exactly what I expected. A rout. They're not really in our level, to be honest. But so I mean you expect them to come out and just run through a team like that, and that's what they did. I expect to see more of the same tomorrow. We came out, Duncan. Oh my God, Ojeda, bro. Can we talk about Ojeda, man?
Yeah.
Hey, I've been saying it, man. Like, we got to get that dude on the field, bro. We got to get that dude on the field and keep him on the field. But he makes things happen, man. He makes things happen. I know Poppy wants his, he wants his press. He wants his press out there. But sometimes you just got to go out there and you got to send a dog out there that just wants to eat, man. You know what I mean? Maybe he don't want to go hunt the food down, but he put it in front of him. He's going, buffet line. He's going to kill it like at Golden Corral or something, man. And that's what Ojeda does. You know what I mean? So he's out there. He's making those crosses, man. He's got a pretty left foot, man. I'm not a foot guy, but like he's got a pretty left foot, man. He gets some things in there, and he gets some things in there, man, and he makes sure. He really gets them, man. And Duncan, people are worried. I don't know why. That's what that dude does, man.
Yeah.
I don't see what the concern was, but he's a smart guy. He's not going to go out there and try to tank his transfer value like people. I don't understand what people are thinking.
I don't understand that either.
No, like you know what I mean. That's his future, bro. He's going to go out there. He's going to do what he has to do. He's going to go out there. He's on the field. He's going to try to score goals. That's what he's tried to do. That's what he is. That's who he is. Just like Ojeda, same thing. He's going to go out there. He's going to get assists. I don't know how. I still don't understand how, because he's a very much shoot first dude, but somehow he always ends up with an assist or really close to it. He just gets numbers up, man. So, and Faku, I don't know when people's gonna learn. That dude's cutting in on that left. I mean, there's only one thing he's gonna do, and he's gonna shoot. So, but I mean, I was happy. I was happy with the performance. I would expect more the same, man. Honestly, I would expect more the same tomorrow night. When they return here. Maybe Poppy wants to, maybe Poppy just wants to shut it down and park the bus, something like that. But it's all good, man. I was very happy. I was very happy.
Sounds good. Swag, your thoughts on the game? Your thoughts of they brought in the Kyle Smith. They're starting in that game. Your thoughts on all what went on there at Vancouver Island?
Yeah, I only wanted to watch. I wasn't paying for the Wi-Fi, mostly for my own sanity. I go on cruises to get away, so I didn't watch the game live, but I saw the highlights and it looked efficient. It looked like you guys said, it looked exactly like what we expected to be done. Cleon said Ojeda was eating like he's in a buffet. That was me in the Windjammer all week on the Royal Boat. It was some of the best food. So, but yeah, I was excited. I agree. We got to get Ojeda in the game more. You see what he did even in the second half this past weekend. The game changes when he's on, and I've been saying it ever since we lost at Columbus last year when we played the poppy ball. But it's like we don't have. Our team is so talented. We don't have to be digging back to wait for an opportunity. Like, we can go out and outscore people if we just put the forward foot down first, so I don't, I'd rather win 4-3 than tie 0-0, or in the case of the MLS Cup playoffs last year, lose 1-2-0, I guess, after you count the crazy, horrible, whatever last goal that was. But I think we played efficiently. We did what we had to do. 3-0. We can get some rotation going into a big match this upcoming weekend at Inter Miami, an early derby in the season, and it's exactly what we need to do. So I definitely expect to see some rotation. Hopefully, Facu gets some rest. Going into that Miami match. Maybe we'll see some Montreal madness coming in. Who knows? So, but I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't as high as everybody else. I thought it was going to be tough, just mainly for the travel. 3,000 miles isn't easy. So I was pleasantly surprised to wake up and see the 3-0 result for sure.
Mike, your thoughts on the game there in Vancouver Island? Would you have kept the lineup? We talked about, they had a full lineup, but, he started Kyle Smith instead of Dagger Dan. What are your thoughts on the game?
Oh no, he started Dagger Dan. The issue was he started Kyle Smith at left back over Santos.
Left back. Yeah, it was Santos. That's right.
Which still weird, but for that game, I didn't think it was going to be something that was going to be bad. And it kept Santos fit for playing against Montreal. So, and yeah, obviously, I mean, I think we mentioned it already, but brace from Facu, goal from Duncan, and Ojeda was a dog. So game up, and the main thing was just the amount of travel, and that amount of travel sucks. So it's a little bit of obviously a little bit of a pain in the butt to have to deal with all of that, but it was a great performance. It's a performance that we should have expected. That's one of those things. They're a good team, but the level of competition doesn't equate to that at MLS. So there was, it was a moment for us to go ahead and just show our dominance. So it was nice to see us do that. Feel good about it, and then probably going to feel less good when we talk about the next game. So,
yeah. Basically, let's now talk about the next game, which was against Montreal. And let me tell you, I didn't expect a 0-0 draw, but let's just go Pedro with 4 shots to keep Orlando. I mean, he saved our butts again, like always, the octopus. Cartagena got the yellow card early, was taken off at a halftime after that first half, a yellow card. And we'll talk a little bit about that probably a little bit later. Felipe goal was called offsides, which he was. I mean, I was right there. I saw it when they brought it in. He was offsides. And then the other one was offsides also. I think it was who was it that scored the goal? Jacqueline. Yeah, that one was offsides also. And Orlando received 3 yellow cards. And that was Duncan and Felipe were for Dissett, basically, but we'll talk a little bit about the rest a little bit later on. But your thoughts, guys, on the game. Was it a surprise for you guys with the 0-0 tie? I mean, everybody's talking offensive power, Orlando City, supporter shield, MLS Cup. All of a sudden, Montreal comes in here and we get a draw. What were your thoughts on that, Swag? What did you think? Beaten them? I think we should have beaten them. And there was a lot coming after, 4 days before we were up in Vancouver. What are your thoughts on this?
It looked like a lot. It looked like typical Orlando City, if you ask me. We only beat these type of teams when we're on the road, apparently. Because anytime we're at home and we play a mediocre team, it just feels like we just try and perfect this poppy ball, and it's almost it's just not what we need. I don't think it's I have a little bit of perspective knowing that we traveled 33,000 miles, 3,500 miles, whatever it was, in 3 days. Not easy for sure, but I was disappointed. It reminds me a lot of last year where we beat this type of team on the road. We get out, we play the way that we played in the last 30 minutes. In the first 30 minutes, when we play these teams on the road, we usually get a goal, and then we play the way that we played the first 60 minutes at home, the last 60 minutes on the road. and usually survive 1-0 or get like a cheap goal while they're really pushing on the counter and go up 2-0. So I wish we would invert it. I wish we would play the way that we played the last 30 minutes in the first 30 minutes and vice versa. But like I said, a lot of travel, and it's a long season, But I would be lying if I said I wasn't frustrated that it wasn't a crap result. I think we should have lost the game, to be honest with you. Like you said, the only reason that we got in was because Pedro did well. I mean, Pedro actually made the saves and players were onside. We only had opportunities when players were offside. They were never chances. They don't count when you're offside. I don't count toward expected goal or nothing like that. We didn't have many chances at all. So I thought we should have lost. I was happy that we got a point at the end of the day. I mean, Robin got caught absolutely sleeping in the 89th minute.
A couple
Joseph,
times,
92nd.
Yeah,
92nd
It
minute.
happened early too. It's almost the exact same play.
I mean, Pedro, you could see he's like, how big can I make myself? And he did. And we got lucky that Joseph Martinez didn't bury us either, because he found himself in the box with nobody within 7 yards of him. All he did was pull back a little bit, and nobody decided to pull back with him. And we're lucky he hit it over the crossbar because that was close too. So, I mean, people were saying, oh, we could have won 2-0. I think they could have won 2-0 easier. It would have been more likely for them to win 2-0 than for us to win 2-0. And a lot of that is an attribute of sitting Ojeda, not starting them because you want to bunker and I don't know why, you don't want to start out and play strong offensively. We want to play strong defensively. And this league has proven time and time again that the winner of the league is an offensive-minded team. It's like that every single year. You look past the last 3, 4, 5 years, defensive champions are not becoming MLS Cup champions. It's the teams that score the most goals, that are the most dangerous on the attack, that can expose what really is a huge deficiency in MLS defenses. Teams just don't spend on their defense the way that they spend on their offense, and we try and be the opposite. That's just across the whole league. You don't see DP defenders. You see DP attackers all day, every day. These guys MLS spins on their attackers. You have to score goals to win, and it looks like we want to do it the hard way. And I don't agree with that, because in years past with Oscar, yeah, we needed to do it the hard way. But I think, like Cleon said, we got, with the people that we have, Ojeda, with Facu, with Duncan now, with Muriel coming in, even Angulo brings a whole different side. Our strong point is our attacking. So I'm tired of seeing, I don't want to repeat of last year early. I want to see attacking mindset. But like I said, 3,000 miles, we got a point. We're obviously focused on Champions League, in my opinion, the Champions Cup right now. Rightfully so.
What you said there, Alex, it seems like it's a repeat every year. I mean, you just mentioned, defense and poppy ball. That's how we started last year. And then, after, 4 or 5 games, people wanted his head cut off and wanted him out of here, And then he finally changed. He changed his tactics. He, went more offensive minded, and we saw that. But why go back to something when last year at the beginning it didn't work? Why are we doing it again? Why don't we go? I mean, we just signed, I know, Luis Muriel. We still have Duncan. He didn't go anywhere. Still can be. Why is it all of a sudden, and he switched. If you go back to the playoffs last year against Columbus, he was playing poppy ball. He didn't play that that streak when we were kicking butt and everything. He went back to that defensive minded, and I think that's what caused us to lose against Columbus. And then this was the same kind of way. And if you look against Cavalry in the first 10-15 minutes, probably it was the same thing, and then it just opened up. Martin became more offensive. And the other thing that I'm scared of, and I'm going to say it now, is Ojeda. If he's going to come off that bench, and it's a waste of talent, I'll be honest with you. If he's going to come off that bench in the 50th, 60th, 70th minute, he's going to be gone in the summer. because there's other teams that will play him from start to finish. So we need to I think we need to utilize our players a little bit more. Like you said, guys, both of you, Cleon and Alex, I mean, against Calvary, Martin started, it was a flow. You could see that happening, all the good offensive moves and everything. But in this game against Montreal, I don't know, man. I just felt like we were back into that. Let's park the bus. Let's do this. And then, yes, okay, Montreal had their all guys back there also. It was more of a defensive minded. But the offensive power that we have, I just felt like we didn't capitalize. We did not capitalize. And I'm going to put a lot of it on also Facundo. I mean, this guy's a star player. He's our star player. He wants to go to Arsenal. He wants to go to Europe. He needs to do something. And if he's not going to do it, then he's not going to he's not going to be 30 millions, to sell or whatever. So, I mean, he's our superstar. He's our main guy. I actually spoke to Leo there at the game, and we were talking about this. Facundo, he, to me and to Leo, we were talking about it. It's like, if you're a superstar, you take it on your shoulder and you go and give that goal and go get it and everything. And I don't see it with Facundo, to be honest with you. Not yet, at least. So,
and on top of it, like, all right, so if these are teams that attack and they score and they're really good, you're going to need your defense to bail you out every now and again. If you're just full push, you're going to need your defense, those 5 guys in the back, your 4 defenders and your goalie. You're going to need them to bail you out to get good results every now and again throughout the season. There ain't a single back 4 and a goalkeeper in the league that is more ready, more capable to bail an offensive-minded team out. We maybe have the best back 4 in the league, and you had Pedro in there too. There's no reason to you need to lean on them, and I would argue that you don't have to lean on that. You don't lean on your back 4 by playing defensively. You lean on them by going pedal to the metal, pushing it up, and counting on them when you need to count on them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. So that's why I'm sorry, Mike. Give me your thoughts on the game and everything there.
So I'm not going. I'm going to go ahead and still reserve a little bit of judgment for right now because of the fact that I still think that there's, it's a little early yet to go ahead and go in on things. We're a lot of travel. I think that there's things that got to be improved. For me, though, the thing that's the most important, and it's been mentioned, so this is going to be beating a dead horse a little bit, but I don't care. It's got to be said because it should have been said last year. It needs to be said again this year, is that Martin Ojeda needs to be on the field. He's currently tied for second in the league in chances created with 3, and he did that in only 45 minutes. And 2 of the people that are ahead of him are people that have already played 2 games. So like, the guy makes chances. That's what he does, and he is good at it. So for me, that guy just needs to be on the damn field. Like, I thought that, Nico Ladero was okay. But as far as chance creation goes, in this game in particular, it was Martin Ojeda who did the bulk of it. This game was just kind of it was rough because it's like we started the game asleep, like it took us 10 minutes to figure out how to play. And Pedro bailed us out 4 times in that first 10 minutes. And then we started to take over the game, but it just came down to the chances that were getting created weren't chances that we were able to finish, and that sucked. So I do kind of err on the side of swag here in the fact that, like, yeah, we easily could have lost this game. I'm happy that we didn't. I don't think that we did enough to win it, but at the same time, we did start to pepper them a little bit more late. So it feels like maybe, this was not 1 point earned, but 2 points lost kind of situation, which is, again, still a bummer. But yeah, I mean, that's my big key takeaway is that I need more Martin Ojeda on the field. I feel like that's just a necessity at this point. It should be something that we should be much more on top of. And I'm also going to go ahead and quote the radio broadcast here a little bit in the fact that Robin Janssen after the game immediately on the radio broadcast stated that he was disappointed. He was disappointed with the game in the fact that that's not the Orlando City that we know. That's not what we've been practicing for. That's not the kind of performances that we're expecting. So I'm pretty sure all of them know that that game overall, that they need to be better. And I'm going to go ahead and give them the benefit of the doubt this week. But if we, are 5 weeks in and we're seeing that a lot more, then I'm going to start questioning a little bit more. But for right now, I'm pumping the brakes.
All right. Cleon, your thoughts on the game? What do you think? What are your thoughts there?
Well, for me, the main problem I would say was that first half. We looked unprepared, honestly. We looked unprepared for that press. Like it caught us off guard. And especially for the speed of the press, like we were having trouble. Center backs were having trouble controlling the ball and then getting passes out. Midfield was as well. We were having a lot of trouble with that press. Like, and it took us probably the entire half to figure it out. It wasn't until about the second half to where we looked more in control. But they really had us out of sorts. So we looked completely unprepared, which I guess it makes a little sense because you don't have too much to go off of. They do have a new coach. From compared to what they had last year, they do have a new coach. A lot of times preseason teams aren't really running their real lineup out there. So, and it was the first match. So it does make sense that it did catch them off guard. So I think just a lot of opportunity was wasted probably in that first half. If we were more prepared for that press in the first half and had it under control like we did in the second, I feel like we probably would have scored one and then, we'll probably catch them out from there. Then, one turns into two, things like that. Other than that, I would say, it's the same as everybody else is saying. I've been saying this since last year. You got to get your most productive guys on the field. Mauricio, he was our 10 and he provides nothing in the attack for the most part. Outside of his passing, which even that was a little lackluster last year. And Nico, he's a lot like Mauricio. Even physically and even just watching him on the pitch, it's almost like you think Mauricio was out there. He's definitely an upgrade on Mauricio in the attack, but is it enough of an upgrade in the attack to leave him in there or not necessarily to leave him in there, but to decide to start him over Ojeda, who is your DP? And you're supposed to be building this team around him and Facu. So I think that's really last year. We started slow, and a lot of it was waiting on basically the correct personnel decisions. Whether it was, this rookie, he might be better than our DP starter. We're talking about Duncan and Carr, and then Santos, the new left back, maybe he should be starting, and them trying to figure out what position Dagger Dan was supposed to play and things like that. And it took a lot for all those decisions to get made. But this year, if we have things to win immediately. So those decisions need to get figured out sooner. So while we do need to pump brakes as far as, not going overboard as far as after the first match. But at the same time, I don't think we can be as patient as we did last year. Yes, we ended up second in Supporters Shield and things like that. We might have been first if those decisions were made sooner. This year, I don't think we should. When we lost Champions League last year. Yes, it was on a technicality, on the away goals, things like that. We got bounced out of Open Cup by friggin' Charlotte, which should have never happened. All these things probably would not have happened if those decisions or figuring out personnel was made sooner. So this year, I don't want to wait as long or give that time as long of a leash for those things to be made. So Ojeda, everything looks in order outside of Ojeda, and then Muriel figuring out the balance between Muriel and Duncan. But that one there, I don't think you can go that one. I don't actually think you can go wrong as far as who's going to be out there. So it's not as pressing as the Mauro and I'm sorry, Mauro. See, that's what I'm saying. The dude's it's just like him. Nico and Ojeda. That Ojeda situation needs to get figured out like ASAP.
Yeah, and like you said, Cleon, last year was kind of like the learning process. Okay, we gave you the benefit of the doubt. After 5-6 games, personnel, whatever. You should have learned from your mistakes. Don't do them again the following year. We should come in here thinking, all right, we know what we have, we know what we got. This is what we need. And like Mike said, after 5 games, if we're back to this again, what do we do? What do we do? I mean, It takes us 5-6 games to figure this out. And by that time, Champions Cup's gone, US Open Cup, who knows what's going on with that. So to me, it doesn't, you should have already learned from your mistakes from last year. That's my main thing. Like Cleon is kind of saying, you shouldn't be bringing it back to the same thing and figuring out personnel 5, 6, 7 games in. This should be done in the preseason, should be done, ready to go and rock and roll. Go ahead. I see you're ready.
Yeah. I agree with everything that you have to say there. The only thing that I will say, just kind of as like a benefit of the doubt and where I think this club is at, and I said this on I did a live today with the Soccer Brummy over in the UK. So shout out to him, Anthony. Appreciate you having me on and talking about our show. But I feel like where Orlando City is now is we were an awful team for about 5 years. Oscar Pereira came in here and taught us how to be a team that can win games. And I'm very appreciative for that. I'm thankful for that. Now we need to be a team that can not only win games, but win trophies. And I feel like that's part of the reason why Ladero was brought in, because that's what this team was missing, was leadership that had a championship pedigree within MLS. I think, he's been, this wasn't his best performance, but he was brought in with a purpose, and that's to take us from being a winning team to being a winning team that's serious about winning trophies. So I think that like I said, we're on our way. It's going to take some time, but I agree with you guys in the fact that, when we say take some time, it's a short leash of take some time. I'm not going to sit here and want to be at 14 points in 10 games and be eliminated from the 2 cup competitions that we're in, like we were last year. Please don't let that happen again. Knock on wood. So,
and let me just add 2 things. The East is going to be a gauntlet again.
Bloodbath.
Match day 1 means just as much as match day 34. The East is going to be nuts. I mean, you got all the same teams that you had last year. You got Miami, who they're going to fix results for. We already seen that. You got DC, who looks like they dumped Wayne Rooney, who might have clearly been the problem. You saw what he did when he went over to England, and now they started on a great first match against New England. The East is going to be a bloodbath, and I don't want to get behind in the East because it's not going to be easy. The people thought it was a bloodbath last year. This year it's going to be worse. So just everybody needs to keep that in mind. Maybe the only team that might get worse this year in the East is Nashville. I don't feel like Toronto can get much worse. How much better can they get? Who knows? But maybe Nashville is the only team that gets worse. Charlotte, you got to think that they're going to get better. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see with the East. And then I'll leave it at this. JJ's talking in 5 or 6 games. Here's my worry. Right now, I think our best 2 players are Duncan McGuire and Martin Ojeda. And in 5 or 6 games, both those guys could be just starting on the bench. That doesn't excite me. I'm excited to see Luis, Muriel come in and see what he could do. But I don't want to be seeing who I think right now are our 2 best players on the bench in 5 or 6 games because we're bringing in this DP9 and we refuse to play this guy who had 6 goals and 10 assists in like 1,900 minutes last year. And who's one of the most effective players in MLS when it comes to doing, creating chances. Like you said, Mike, we're going to have him on the bench. And then Duncan McGuire, who is the most effective player in MLS and outscoring his expected goals. I don't know. That just seems like, there could be a lot of questions to be asked. If we're asking questions right now, imagine if that's the case, if we're sitting on 6 points after 6 games and Duncan McGuire and Ojeda are coming off the bench.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right there, Swag, on that. So as we go, let's move on. Let's go to stocks up, stocks down. I'm going to go with Mike first. Mike, who is your stock up in this game, the last game against Montreal, and who's your stock down?
Man, dude, you gave me like the biggest softball on the planet by letting me go first. 'Cause I feel like easy answer is stock up is Ojeda. Like the chance creation, the assist that he had against to Duncan against Cavalry was that was a beautiful cross. Like that was chef's kiss, exactly what you want to see. And then the chance creation again against Montreal, he was the one who really changed the game. And for that, the stock down is inversely going to go to Ladero. Ladero got the start, and I feel like Ladero didn't really show me what I needed to see out of him. Yeah, like he was fine, but to what Cleon said is he played like he played like Mauricio. There wasn't anything. It was cool. It was fine, but there wasn't anything special about it. He didn't do anything that game changed it for us. It was just simple. So I needed to see more out of Ladero, and I didn't see it. And I liked what I saw out of Ojeda, and I want to see more of it. So easy enough.
All right. I'm going to go next, and my stock up is actually going to be Dagger Dan. To me, I think he's been playing phenomenal from both the Champions Cup, and then he was all over the place against Montreal. I mean, you could see he wanted it in that game against Montreal. He was in the middle. He was on the left. He even to the right. He was everywhere. And I actually liked what I saw from him.
I want to give him some credit as well, just to piggyback on you a little bit. Because remember, guy wasn't a right back when he came here.
Yeah.
Like, he's too talented for us to leave him off the field, and he was willing to learn how to become a right back to get on the field. He's excelling at it. He's doing well. He's even starting at right back for the Iceland national team during their friendlies in January. So I agree with that. Shout out to DDT, man. I love that guy.
So definitely Dagger Dan. Am I stock down? It's Cartagena, Wilder. Technically, that should have been a red card, if you ask me. Right. And I think
that's a decent one.
He would have been out. We would have been playing with the man out already in the first. And there's something there that I don't see the same Cartagena that I saw, last year. I know it's the first game, and that's the second game. But I'm just saying. But right now,
I don't know. He's kind of like this. That's kind of who he is, though.
No,
man.
I know.
He's kind of like that.
But
in big games, he gets a little hype, and he's kind of like this, where he just comes out and he's kind of reckless.
But he needs to be smarter. And I mean, in the first half, that would have been a red. We would have been down with the guy already, and who knows? We probably would have lost that game. Who knows what would have happened?
Yeah, so, I think I said on the Den After Dark, like if that went to VAR and they gave it a red card, I wouldn't have been able to argue it. Like it would have been right. Like it was a rough tackle. And
he was coming with both feet.
If we didn't have replacement refs, it probably would have gone to VAR and been a red card, to be honest. So
yeah. So Dagger Dan is my stock up. Cartagena, my stock down. Swag, go ahead. Who's your stock up and stock down?
I have two different people. I think we're definitely stealing from Cleon. So
this is the first time it's ever happened.
It's hard to go with a guy who had 2 goals earlier in the week to give you stock down. But if we're going just off this game, like y'all said, big games, I expect Facu just be better, man. I expect him to be the leader. We're in year 4 now with him. I mean, I want to see him take over games like this that are against inferior opponents at home, packed crowd. I want to see him be the difference maker, not really the farthest thing from it. So I just it's not that he was the worst player on the pitch for me. It's just that I have high hopes for him this year, and my hopes are a little bit lower. And that's the definition of stock down, in my opinion. And then on the other hand, I'm going to go with David Bracalo for my stock up because my hopes weren't as high as maybe a lot of other people's have been on social media and excited for this move. He's coming from the Norwegian league, and a lot of people like that, but it's just not a bona fide league. And I was worried. I know he's the center back of the Defender of the Year, but I wasn't. I was worried that we weren't going to fill that gap, but he looked tremendous to me, especially for it being his first match. I like how he can get forward. He made himself known that he's going to get forward. It's not just going to be a one-game thing, I don't think. And I like how he handled the ball, and he only made a couple mistakes, in my opinion. And like I said, I don't think about Facu, I don't think he was the worst player on the pitch. I don't think Brekalo was the best player on the pitch, but I think he exceeded my expectations the most out of anybody, because even with Pedro, he did what I expected him to do. When Pedro doesn't do that, I get sad. So, but he did what I expected to do. So, otherwise, my stock up would definitely be Pedro for sure.
All right, Cleon, your stock up, your stock down. Who do you have? Is it somebody different?
Well, I got the short end of the stick going last here, and y'all literally took my top 6, my top 6 options. So at this point, I have to pick up the scraps and take what's left.
Hey man, this isn't a draft.
Down.
You can add some more stuff. It's not a draft.
Since it's the first the first show for the new season, I'm gonna try to say a different guy. At this point, I have to go to option number 7. I'm gonna go stock down. I'm actually gonna go Angulo. Because this is probably the first time. Angulo's had up and down games to where he's, where it comes to his finishing and things like that. But this was the first time that I can remember where I did not see his speed impact the opposing team at all. And I don't know if it had to do with he was matched up with Juan, and that's probably the only other player that's close to him in speed. So I don't know if that was the cause of it, but this was probably the first time I've seen Angulo's speed not play a factor at all in any type of way. Usually I've seen him to where he's still getting behind people, but he's just blowing the pass or the shot in the final third. But this was just the first time where it was just a non-factor, completely. Stock up. Ooh. It's not really anything left. I'm gonna go Pedro, I guess. He had a he's a year older. He's a year older, but he was still the same guy back there. He was still the same guy back there. So at this point, I just gotta go with Pedro.
That's interesting what you say about Angulo. I think the only way his speed affected was on defense. He had a couple good, track backs and surprises.
Oh yeah, defensively, yes, defensively he was there. He caught them. He chased guys down and took the ball a bunch of times. But in attack, you normally always see him giving the opposing team fits as far as his speed and chasing things down and getting in behind people. But this match, you just did not see his speed play a factor. And I don't know if that had to do with who won. They were matched up on each other because Juan was on the right and, he was playing left. So I don't know if it just happened to be the one time they had a guy who could pretty much keep up with him. I don't know if that was the case or what, but it was just the first time I've seen his speed not play a factor at all.
Yeah, and another thing is, so you got Juan, who's coming in back to town, Montreal playing his old team. There's plenty of he wants to show off that he's better than what he was here because they let him kind of go, traded him, and then you had Joseph Martinez. So when people said, oh, this should be easy, it's Montreal, I always said, no, Montreal is actually probably going to give us some trouble. There's, players, the player that came back wants to come back, show off to his old team. And then you got Joseph Martinez, who loves Orlando, loves the fans, basically. So, but good job, guys. I mean, I think definitely, Alex, you hit it on the spot with Facundo, and I'm saying the same thing. It's like, hey, year 4, come on, man, you gotta. And now let me ask you guys this: is it because we don't have a presence in that locker room that could help these younger guys? I mean, we got Nico now. We did have Nani, but last year, who was it? Mauricio. Mauricio doesn't have that. He never won something big. Does that make sense? To get these guys, Nani, European champion, Champions League, Nico, MLS, how many times, with Seattle? Is there a presence in the locker room that is missing to help these guys, to tell them to focus, or, I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on that, or is this just me thinking outside the box?
Well, like Mike said, that's what they brought in Ladero for. I think that was the main reason they brought him in.
But I mean, they brought in Nani last time, and then you saw what that happened with that. He starts trying to mentor guys, and it wasn't very, he left because, some people weren't happy because of that. So, so who knows? All right, let's preview the games that are coming up this week. The first one is the Champions Cup, the second leg right here at home at 6:00 Tuesday, which is today, because we'll have this posting out today. 6:00 today, early game. So make sure you get there. It's a 6:00 game, and that's because of CONCACAF, because, the way that they have the time zones and all that stuff. So 6:00 game, it's on Fox Sports 2. And where you have 3 goals in hand, up 3-0. So basically, it's going to be very difficult. I mean, and if they do it, hey, good for them. Cavalry comes and beats us 4-0 or 5-1. Hey, good job for them. I'll give them. Hey,
it ain't happening. It's a wrap.
But I agree.
It's
a wrap. But I've seen crazier things happen.
It's a wrap.
So, your thoughts on this game, guys, today here in Orlando, Cavalry FC. Cleon, I guess you saying it's a wrap, right? And over here,
it's over.
Alex is going with the W.
Yeah,
Sacramento Republic type rap.
So we might as well just say, hey, we're waiting on Tigres. Come on, guys.
Write it down. Write it down. Take a picture.
Mike.
It don't matter. It's over.
I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and say that, not to take it too completely not seriously or anything like that, but at the same time, like, we are rotating this lineup, baby. Like, we are gonna see Shaq Muhammad play. We're gonna see, Thomas Williams might get a start.
Mikey Halliday. What about Mikey Halliday?
Oh, Mikey Halliday should start. Why not?
He'll be waving. Hey, I'm open over here. Pass me the ball.
I think Mason might start, to be honest.
Mason probably does start. Because again, this game, I don't think if we go with a rotated lineup that they're going to be able to score 3 on us. And if we go with a rotated lineup, I think that we could still score on them. So, I'm not overly concerned by this one. So I feel like we are going to be looking forward a little bit to Tigres. But hopefully not too much, just because we don't want to flub it up that bad,
So let me ask you guys a question. If you get to today, the lineup comes out today and says, hey, Gillespie in goal, Janssen, just saying that he puts his main guys in there. What do you guys think of that? I mean, having Miami on Saturday.
If he does that, I'm not going to hate on it entirely because of the fact that at least this game is on Tuesday and the Miami game is on Saturday. So there's at least a little bit more of a gap. But I'd rather us go ahead and give some of those guys a little bit more rest. But at the same time, it does show commitment to winning and, essentially just putting our foot down on them and not giving them a chance. And so I do have a respect for that, even though I think that that's not really what we should be doing in this situation.
I don't want to do a full 11. The only way we can lose is if we rotate all 11, in my opinion. If they're what is in the Avengers, I saw 9,787,000, and only one result worked in our favor. Cavalry saying that, and the only one involves us.
That's the
all
one.
11 of our
That's
players.
the one.
So we got 5 subs to use. Play 4 normal starters. I think you play, and then if at halftime it looks good, you pull them. You know what I mean? So I think Ojeda plays or Angulo definitely plays. I think what, Mike?
I'm going to add, we got the notification right before we started recording that Luis Muriel has gotten his visa and is available for selection. So Poppy said in a pregame interview that if he's going to be available, he wants to get him minutes. I am not mad at that at all. Getting him in there, getting him some actual competition.
No, definitely.
At our stadium. So
I think Jacqueline starts. Muriel probably comes in. I think Angulo probably starts, or
Enrique.
One of those two will start. Enrique may start too, maybe at the wing. But I want to see. I don't want to see Jacqueline, Shaq Mohammed, Kochevsky.
Okay,
Thomas
maybe
Williams,
went a little
Mikey
bit too hard.
Holiday.
All right. Loyola.
I don't want to see a full 11.
All those guys.
Rotation.
I went a little too hard, guys. I'm sorry.
All right. Listen,
you're doing all that. You get on that one shot to actually pull it off.
Yeah, no.
Mike, real quickly, what's your prediction on the score for today?
I'll go ahead and I'll give it 2-0 Orlando. I just don't see them scoring realistically, even if we do a rotated defense, which I'm assuming is going to be Rodrigo Schlegel because he was off for the weekend. Maybe Bracalo gets some more minutes and Janssen gets the day off. If we're starting Bracalo and Schlegel, I still don't think they're really going to get through. And Mason, I think, is actually one of the better backup goalkeepers in the league. So, and he's got a cannon for an arm, but that's just a offshoot of that. So yeah, I think we could still win this 2-0.
So 2-0. Alex, what about you?
I'll say 1-1.
1-1 tie. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be heavy and boring. It's going to be super boring and a heavy rotation.
Yeah,
Cleon.
I think. I'm definitely rotating all them like non-player people in. Absolutely not. I'm talking about like our immediate backups, like Mason, sure, Rodrigo, sure. I would still start one of either Wilder or Cesar, probably Wilder since he only played like half a game last game. Wilder, I would start him. Sit Cesar. I would start one of Bracalo or Janssen. Jacqueline, I'm not starting him. No way. You at this point you have 3 guys ahead of him. Why go all the way to the 4th? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to use all 3 at Miami. So I mean, yeah. So I'm starting whichever one of Muriel and Muriel or Duncan,
Enrique,
whichever one I'm not planning on starting. Miami, yeah. Ojeda or Facu, one of them sitting for sure. I think I would sit whichever one of them's not going to start. And as far as Ojeda and Nico go, whichever one of them's not going to be starting versus Miami, that's the one I'm starting here. So,
what's your final prediction?
If they go to lineup like that, I would say we win 1-0. Poppy special. If we go there, if we go dumb and starting all these kids, then we'll lose 1-0 or it'll be 1-1.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go
playing them kids, bro. Ain't no way.
I'm gonna go with the upset special. I'm going Cavalry 2, Orlando City 1. Yep, 2-1. Cavalry will beat Orlando, but Orlando still advances.
I can see it.
2-1. So there you go. Let's go down to talk about Inter Fort Lauderdale, the toxic waste capital of the world. Let's talk about them. Derby coming up Saturday, 4:30 p.m. down there in the garbage toxic stadium. Messi, $ Messi, that is. And then they got the Circus du Soleil. Are they sponsored by Circus du Soleil? Because Busquets, I mean, that guy knows how to twirl around and fall without getting touched, man, by the invisible person. But we go down there, guys. This is a big game for us. Taylor Twellman, last week in the when he was doing the Real Salt Lake game, he says that Orlando City is the only one that knows the recipe how to mess with Inter Miami's head and Messi's head and that whole team, because we're physical. I think we are. And I think if we start getting in their heads and we don't take any BS and we in there, we'll get in their heads big time. Swag, your thoughts on the game and what's your prediction on that?
My prediction is MLS is going to stage any result they can, especially with these replacement refs, because they got an easy scapegoat. So I ain't putting nothing in it. We're going to lose. That's it. I'm not going to get my hopes up. Why am I going to get my hopes up? They got a scapegoat. They got the replacement refs. They can blame it on them. No problem. I don't know. 2-1 Inter Miami, and I mean, I think it's a joke. I think the whole thing's a joke. It really frustrates me. It's clear as day. All you have to do is watch this game that they played with the DJ that was referenced the game. If you haven't seen that, that's like literally a true story.
They say musical composer.
Yeah. So I just, for me, until I'm proven otherwise, I can't see many results going against Inter Miami, no matter who's playing. So they don't have to play a midweek game. They got a bye week because, they got staged the Leagues Cup last year, so they got to buy free route pass round in the Champions Cup, so they don't have to play this week. And as much as I want to say that I think we can win or get a result down there, with how we played this past weekend, us having a midweek game, and the refs just being trash, and these guys literally just got called up from the 2 p.m. club session, at the YMCA doing DJ work. So obviously they're going to be star-studded, repping a game with Messi and Busquets and Jordi Alba and all these guys. So I'd rather beat them when it counts.
All right. Good.
Not that I don't want to beat them here, but I just
you got a good point.
I think we're a better team. I think we're a better team, but the Galaxy were the better team. And
even though they got holes in the back there, like Dunkin' Donuts.
Busquets pulls a guy down by his shoulder 3 feet behind him in the box and doesn't even get a yellow card. And then he gets tackled, doesn't even get a touch, and the guy gets a second yellow card. I just I'm done with the whole Inter Miami thing. I think a lot of us are. It's just I can't.
Everybody is.
Be out of the league. I hope that. Part of me hopes they suck so bad this year, just so he leaves, because there's no way he stays there another year if they're terrible.
Cleon, your thoughts on the Miami game this weekend? You have no thoughts? Or are you thinking?
3-3.
3-3?
Shootout.
3-3 shootout. Wow. So you're another
shootout.
A tie, huh?
Yes. Muriel opens the account. Yeah. Yeah, we should have won. We should win, but they're gonna blow that phantom whistle on Wilder. Actually, it's Wilder. It's probably not really gonna be phantom, but they're gonna blow it on Wilder to give Messi his patented
peak.
Give Messi his patented. Here you go. You're about to lose, so here's this phantom free kick from dead center, top of the box type of deal. So. They'll end up tying. We'll be up 3-2. They'll give them the refs will hand them the game at the end, 3-3.
Mike, what's yours?
So, There's a famous wrestler who I think about in this time, who was the son of a plumber, and he used to talk about how we all got put on hard times, baby. And we are on some hard times right now with these replacement referees. And I'm going to tell you right now that we're going to live through these hard times. We're going to thrive through these hard times. We're going to be successful through these hard times. In the name of Dusty Rhodes, give me a hell yeah. We're winning 2-1 down there in Miami. I ain't listening to Alex saying we're going to lose. I ain't listening to Cleon saying we're getting a tie. We're getting a goddamn win, because the spirit of Dusty Rhodes is coming through me right now. And that's how it's going to be.
Wait, hold up. Hold on. I got a mission. I didn't realize the game was. I don't know why, because it says it right here on the screen. It says Enter Fort Lauderdale away. I don't know why. I thought we was playing at home when I said 3-3.
So
we're playing in Trashville.
Yeah, and I just said the toxic capital of the world. Do you not pay attention?
You know what? You said all that. Now I don't understand what was going on. Yeah, that changes my outcome.
So what's your outcome now?
That changes my outcome a little bit.
What is it?
It's in Trashville, so it's it's time for them to scatter like cockroaches again, and yeah, they're going down. They're going down in Fort Lauderdale, Trashville, USA. They're gonna scatter like cockroaches. They leaving early once again. It's a wrap. Lock. Bet the house on it.
Somebody DJing right now? Who's DJing? Do you think the referee's going to come and help?
Guy had the man bun and everything.
I know, the man bun. Oh well, we had a line. The line ref on Saturday also had a man bun also, and but hey, the replacement refs are right. My thoughts. I think we'll go down there after we lose tomorrow with the replacement players. We'll have the replacement players playing for Orlando City.
Bro, you do not believe we're going to lose to Calgary, bro. Cavalry, I'm sorry.
Calvary. 2-1. Yes, we will lose 2-1. And then we
you know you don't believe that.
You
don't
got
believe that.
You got all this momentum. People are already starting to talk bad about Poppy. You got all this. We go down to Miami and we beat them. We beat them 2-1. 2-1. Orlando City goes down to Toxville and we beat them. Yep. That's what my prediction is.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys on the Den After Dark when the refs do it without any lube. Just a full-blown alien probe.
And I'll be on the Den After Dark, and instead of doing a Dusty Rhodes promo, I'm going to drop a Macho Man promo on you and just remind you that the cream rises to the top.
It'll be like the Den After Dinner, because it'll be like 7:30 or something like that.
The Den After Early Bird Special.
Early Bird Special. All right, guys, it's shout out time. Yes, it's that time. Shout outs. Who wants to go first? I'll go, Mike. Mike, I want you to go first.
Yeah,
You've
I'll
been
go ahead
wanting
and
to go.
I'll go ahead and go first. First off, I said it earlier. Shout out to again the Soccer Brummy for having us on, and also shout out to the Battered Herons. They're going to have a writer on Thursday. We'll make sure to send that link out. That's an Inter Miami podcast. So shout out to them. Whatever, give them for us working together with them. We'll go ahead and give them a shout out, even though they're from Fort Lauderdale, Pompano Beach, wherever they're at. But I really want to go ahead and give a shout out to the league for just dragging their feet on this whole ref situation, because it's going to become a player safety issue. It's going to become a big issue, like an issue when it comes to these calls. Corey Rockwell, who's a former, I think he's a former, I don't think he is anymore. He was an assistant referee. He made a tweet over the weekend saying that on average with the pro referees, there was 4 VAR reviews per weekend. In this current setup, there was 12 VAR reviews this weekend going into Sunday. Like, it clearly shows to me these referees are out of their depth. So MLS, get your crap together. Like, get the real referees back in here. I can't be sitting here saying that I'm actually like shocked to be advocating for the likes of Ted Uncle and Alan Chapman, but like now that I see what's on the other side, the grass ain't always greener. I'd much rather have those people in here. So my shout outs to the MLS. Get your crap together, man. I can't be dealing with these replacement refs for much longer, especially if they're going to be on the side of whatever the hell that was in Los Angeles. That tackle that got Mark Delgado a second yellow on Busquets, and the fact that Busquets also wasn't sent off himself, still furious about it. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I never thought in a million years I'd be begging for Ted Uncle to get a raise, but here we are.
There you go.
I don't think it's even Ted Uncle that they want to raise for. It's for like the ARs and the VARs and stuff like that. Like, I don't know.
Give them the raise.
Like,
that's the bottom line.
To some games, that's all. Like, that's what they want. And
I mean,
Give
players
them the
had to
first
fight for that
class.
too, so I don't give a crap.
All right,
You mean to
Swag,
tell me
your
they
shout
can't have
out.
business class? Come on.
Oh, my shout out. I will. I'm going to shout out Sasha Question. So he just started a new segment called Stock Up and Stock Down. He's writing every week about it. So shout out Sasha, and then also shout out the Windjammer Cafe. If you ever been on a Royal Caribbean boat, I'm usually a Carnival guy. I don't do Royal. But they changed my opinion, and they honestly had the best food I've ever seen. I've cruised a lot on a lot of different cruise lines, and they had the best food I've ever seen on a buffet or a cruise line in general. So if you like food, cruise and food, hit up the nice boats on Royal Caribbean. And if you got kids, man, Enzo had a great time. Enzo had a blast. They had a whole little splash pad area with a little tiny water slide, and they had a whole little playground. And of course, he got sick because there's like 900 other kids. Nasty kids and stuff, but it was worth it. He had the time of his life. So don't be afraid to cruise with the under 2-year-old, because especially if you go on Royal, it was worth it. So shout out to Royal Caribbean.
I'll go next, and I'll leave Cleon for the last because he likes going last on shout outs. Shout out to Eddie, the commission's daughter, man. Great job, Lily, on your state for Thespian. If you guys don't know what Thespian is, that's a National Honor Society for the Drama Club for middle school and high school. Great job there, Lily. You did a great job. I heard your song score and everything. Perfect score, superior.
Superior across the board.
So I'm also a Thespian dad, so I know how good that is.
Eddie
feels
sent
great.
me the video the first time, and I was like, my jaw was on the ground. I was like,
yeah,
she's like
she
a
was awesome.
Star, man.
Yeah, she did awesome.
No, and I credit I've as someone who lived that too, because I was a thespian in high school, so like I know how that stuff goes. It's super awesome. Like hearing that that stuff makes me so happy for them.
Yep. So awesome job, great job at States, and I go next week for my States for my daughter, for the high school version of it. So
is that still out in Tampa?
Yep, at the convention center. Yep.
So, okay, so they haven't changed anything then?
They haven't changed anything. It's there still. What's funny is the state thespian is bigger than national thespian. Florida State Thespian Festival is bigger than the national one because there's so many thespians in Florida.
Florida is massive, dude. It's insane.
Yeah. Yep. So that's where all the Broadway and all the actors come from and screenwriters and everything. So there you go. So congratulations, Lily. Great job. Cleon, you're the last one. Who's your shout out to?
Yeah, my shout out is for our earlier episode, earlier segment where I left a stock down off the list, and everyone is expecting Mr. Yankoff to rise to the occasion. But he just wasn't up for it. He just was not up for it, and he was not up for the moment, and the bright lights got to him, and Yankoff just did not deliver, and everyone was there to see him put on a show, and he just did not deliver. He could not rise to the occasion, and got stage fright. You know what I mean? Everybody's expecting him to pull a double, maybe even a triple. Put in a solid 45-minute shift or so. But it turns out he was done after what first minute or two? First minute or two, he was done, bro. It's like why even show up, bro? Everyone's here to see you shine, and you know. So I would say next time, take your Wheaties, take your vitamins, like Mr. Hogan says, take your Wheaties, take your vitamins, maybe, you know, take a little blue, and you know, next time when people expect to show up for the show, you know, you be ready for it, and you know, you stand up and you be there and you be strong, you be solid, and you stay there for a good 45 minutes, 60 minutes, maybe even go to full 90. You know, it's not over for you, Mr. Yankoff. It's not over for you. Like JJ
got a bunch of pills
on his board right there.
There you go.
They got those pills at the gas station that'll help you out.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Not a sprint, it's a marathon.
There you go.
Eddie is going to be so proud of the final
yes, you are.
Eddie's going to go from JJ shout out to Cleon shout out, and I wish I could be there to see the smile on his face because when he's done with those 2 shout outs.
So this became a WWE. We had references of Hulk Hogan, Dusty Rhodes, you know. So, and then Macho Man Randy Savage, and now it's time for me to say, you know, let's finish the story like Cody Rhodes wants to do. So, all righty, guys.
Like Cody Rhodes will do.
We'll do, hopefully, and to The Rock and to Roman Reigns. So, finishing up, guys, thank you. It's been great again, as always. Till next week, for our Orlando Lion Den, for Ryder, Eddie, Swag, Mike, Cleon, and myself. Thank you, everybody. Vamos, Orlando. Let's beat Cavalry. Let's beat the inter-toxic Lauderdale team down south. Let's go, guys. Vamos, Orlando.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week in the Den.